Teresa Meyerhoeffer, Senior Consultant at Alithya, is going to kick off our 2024 Managed Services Monthly Education Series, talking about simplifying purchase order management. For a bit of background here first, here at Alithya, we have over 320 professionals with more than 23 years of experience providing the full Oracle suite of services, EPM, ERP, SCM, and HCM across various industries spanning financial services, healthcare, high-tech, professional services, and more. Alithya is not only an Oracle partner, but we are also an Oracle ERP, EPM, and HCM customer. Because we run our business on Oracle Cloud, our team of experts is here to provide the right solutions to meet the needs of over 1,000 of our clients and counting. Our managed services team is a dedicated practice of Oracle certified consultants, 100% Oracle Cloud focused on sustainment services to provide support, training, testing, administration, enhancements, and reporting. We greatly appreciate your participation in this webinar series delivered by our managed services team, and we will address any questions put into the Q&A chat throughout today's presentation.
Welcome, everyone. So in today's webinar, we're going to review a tool that was put out by, I guess, in conjunction with Oracle and Excel, and the tool is called Oracle Visual Builder. It's an add-in for Excel. Today, we'll do an overview of what the Oracle Visual Builder add-in for Excel tool is. We'll also talk about how to install that tool. We will focus on the purchase order today. So we will review and kind of deconstruct the purchase order template so you can see how that template works. We'll do a live demonstration, and then we'll review some reference items that I've put together that allow you to go in and do some of your own research and review, and then we'll answer any questions. First, about me. I've been working with the Oracle application for over 20 years. I started in EBS and I made the move to cloud a few years ago. My primary focus has been in supply chain management for various industries like manufacturing and healthcare. I work on Alithya's managed service team, which gives me the opportunity to work directly with clients to help resolve any kind of break fix issues they may have. I get to perform training, and guidance, and I do get to work on enhancement projects, including working with new functionality. So and I do have a procurement implementation certification. So that's enough about me. Let's jump into this presentation. So here we are looking at just a high-level overview of the Oracle Visual Builder. And the Visual Builder tool uses both Excel, uses Excel, the REST APIs to communicate with the Oracle Cloud application. The Visual Builder add-in tool for Excel sits inside of the Excel template, and you'll be able to see that here when we do the demo. But you can use that template to download data from the Oracle application. You can make changes in Excel, and then you can upload those changes back into the application. Or in certain cases, other templates that you can use. You can also create data in the Excel template, and you can upload that new data into the application. The Oracle Visual Builder tool can perform some custom actions as well, such as, in our case, we're talking about purchase orders today. So maybe you want to submit a purchase order for approval, or maybe you're submitting a purchase order change order for approval. Some actions that we'll see today. And as I mentioned, the tool, the add-in, runs inside of Microsoft Excel. It currently only works with the Windows operating system. And each integrated Excel document, as we'll see, is associated with a particular REST service. We'll see that as well. The add-in connects that configured REST service to fetch or modify any data that's needed. So the next question is, how do you install this Visual Builder tool? So here we have, I've provided to you the download link for getting the Visual Builder tool. So what you would do, and I've kind of helped you out here. When you click on that link, you're going to come here to the download page, and you'll be able to download the tool to your machine using this particular link. But I would really like to explain that you want to review this documentation as well, because this documentation, if you click on that link, it'll pull up this particular page. But this documentation tells you how do you install it. So just by clicking on the download link, it's going to download to your downloads folder, but you still have to go through the process of installing it. And that's all detailed here on this particular page. Let's see. So after you successfully install the tool that was downloaded, when you open Microsoft Excel, um, oh, and also I want to say that this is for Windows and also Excel 2016 and later. So you can download this, then you can open Excel and you'll know once it's been installed that it's been installed correctly, because when you open the Excel workbook, you'll see a new tab in your ribbon area called Oracle Visual Builder, as you can see here on this particular slide. From the Oracle Visual Builder tab, you have access to new features that you would not normally see in your standard Excel workbook, such as you have some designer capabilities, manage catalogs. We'll see how these are used here shortly. And I didn't currently have, when I took this screenshot, I didn't currently have connection to any of my Oracle environments. So the download and the upload is grayed out, but this would be available to you. And we'll see that later when we get into the demo as well. But you have the new ribbon or the new menu tab in your ribbon, and that provides you with some new functionality that you'll get to see how that works. So today we're going to focus on the purchase order templates. You can create your own template, or you can use templates provided from the Cloud Customer Connect posts. And these templates are provided to you on an as-is basis. And so what does that mean? Oracle has created these templates as it's a starting point. So you can use these immediately, or you can use them and build your own requirements. You'll be able to kind of get an idea of how this works from today's demo, but there's today's demo and so much more. So what we're going to do today is kind of look at the art of what's possible. So if you wanted to download the as-is template, you can do that by going to this particular link on Cloud Customer Connect. And this link is strictly for creating a new purchase order. And then this particular link has a template for creating a change order. The scope of today's webinar is around creating a purchase order change order. You can certainly find additional templates on Customer Connect, such as updating requisition preferences, creating public shopping lists. The one that we're going to use today is creating and updating POs with project DFFs. There's also a mass close PO schedules, and I left one off of here. There's also templates available for creating and updating requisitions. I do want to make a note that templates are not supported by Oracle as far as opening up an SR with Oracle, but you can receive assistance on Cloud Customer Connect. And I've even had to do that a couple of times with some areas that I was researching. Let's see, make sure that, yep, got everything I wanted. So we're ready to jump into our demonstration. All right. So here we have, it's our internal Oracle Vision instance or our proof of concept pod. And what I've done in preparation for today's webinar is I created a purchase order and I submitted the purchase order for approval. But after I submitted that for approval, I noticed, oh, I forgot to put the project details in. Now, normally we're talking about one purchase order, 5 lines. Jump in here real quick, edit this purchase order, fix the data that you need, send it on. You wouldn't necessarily need to use the template to update this particular purchase order because there's not that many lines. But again, we're just showing you the art of what is possible. So I want to show you how we can use the Excel spreadsheet to update multiple lines at one time. All right, so here we have the purchase order template that I was talking to you about. And here we have it's the change order, purchase order attributes, and project DFF. I named this template so that it's helpful for me. And I do have out here to the side the environment that I'm connected to and what type of environment is this? Is it a dev environment? Is it a production environment? It's just helpful if you're working with multiple different templates or maybe multiple environments so that you can quickly identify what you were connected to. All right, when you open the template, upon opening the template, you want to take note of the purchase order or take note of the 3 tabs at the bottom. So you have the purchase order, header, and line. So that's going to show you the header information here in what's called a form layout and the line information here in the table layout. Then you have the purchase order schedule. This is a table layout, and the purchase order distribution, which is another table layout. You can think of how this particular form is laid out. This is called a form over table layout. And you can think of that as the form is the parent, the header is the parent, the line is the child, and then the schedule and the distribution are the grandchildren. So these are linked together through an ancestry. And you can see how they're linked together by using this designer tab that I was telling you about. So you can see here I'm not sure if that window pops down for you, but it does for me. We're in this Oracle Visual Builder tab in the ribbon, and we're going to click here on the designer tab. And we can see that brings up a new window called Layout Designer. Here within the Layout Designer, we have General, Query, Form, and Table. And the General tab is going to give you some information about what type of layout are you working with. And you can see this is the form over table layout. So your form is over your table. It will also show you what is the API that this particular template is using, and it will also show you the child layout. So here we can see the schedules tab is a child to the header and the line tab. If we move through and talk about the different tabs here, we've talked about the general tab. We also have what's called a query tab. So query is just another word for search criteria. And right now we currently have our form set up with a search criteria of order number starts with. So when I go to download data into this template, I'm going to be prompted with a box that says order number starts with, and then I have a blank space to enter my order number. This particular template is coded to do one purchase order at a time, but you could potentially create your own template that you can do multiple purchase orders or update multiple purchase order lines at one time. And you would use this query section if you wanted to, maybe you want to add some additional search criteria fields. So if you click on this pencil here, you're going to get the search editor button, that dialog box that comes up. And so hopefully this makes sense where this search query field is coming or how it's displayed. And you can see we currently are searching on the order number starts with, but we have the ability to add additional fields as needed. So if we wanted to add, hey, we also want to look for the supplier name. So the order starts with 123, and maybe the supplier starts with ABC. You have that ability to modify this template as needed. We don't need this for today's presentation, so I'm going to go ahead and take that out. I just wanted to show you what was possible here. On the Form tab, this particular tab, so this deals with the form. The form is this header section that we're looking at for the PO header. This will show you all of the fields that is available and displayed on this header section of the um, template tab. You have options in here that you can certainly come in here and you can add additional fields. So click on this plus button, the available fields window opens. You can come in here, you can basically click and you can quickly add or take away fields. If you wanted, let's go ahead and close that out. If you wanted to move fields around, you can drag and drop fields. And so you can see here supplier ID has now moved over next to procurement ID. I personally like it the other way, so I'm going to drop it back. But it's pretty easy to manipulate and move fields around as needed. Again, you can add new fields. If you wanted to edit fields, highlight a field, you can click on the pencil and you can get in and do any kind of edits. I wouldn't edit the ID that's used by the REST service, but you could edit the title if you wanted to, if you needed something to make to be clearer to you. If there is a field that you no longer wanted, you can certainly use the little trash can symbol here and you can remove that field. But again, you're using the REST service. So you have to make sure that you're not taking away fields that the REST service needs. So I started with the template that Oracle provided and made sure that worked. And then as I identified any new fields that I needed, I could then add those in and then go back and test again. So that's one way you can handle adding new fields or taking fields away. The table tab is very similar to the form tab, except for it deals with the table section of the template. Same concept applies where you have the different attributes that are available. And so right now, these are the attributes that we're showing on the line. Again, you can add new attributes if you would like, you can edit them, and you can discard them. And we won't go into the advanced today. That's kind of out of scope for what we're doing. But quickly, we can say you can choose like what's your form capabilities and what are your table capabilities. So you can definitely take a look at that when you get a chance. All right, so we're going to close out the layout designer. And the next question would be, how do I connect this to my Oracle environment? So you can connect this to your Oracle environment by using this Manage Catalogs link. When you click on Manage Catalog, that's going to bring up the Business Objects Catalog. And this particular template is coded for the Draft Purchase Orders REST API. If we double click on that, that will bring us into the area where we can tell Oracle, hey, this is the host that I want to connect to. So we have that coded in here. And then at this point, we've kind of gone over the main features. We'll see some other features when we start to download our purchase order and bring that data here into Excel. So one question people may ask is, why would I want to use this? And you're going to want to use this. For example, we recently had a situation where a client of ours came to us and said, we had an issue with a interface and the purchase orders that were created as part of that interface. The request date was set incorrectly. It was set for like 1969. Well, we know that's going to be an incorrect request date, and that caused other errors within trying to validate the PO. So they had over 3,000 PO lines that they needed to update. We didn't use this particular template for that, but we were able within a very small window of time, maybe it was definitely less than an hour, maybe 30 minutes, and we were able to update all 3,000 plus lines to correct that date. And that's just not possible through the application because you're constantly pulling up a PO, making the change, saving, submitting, pull up the next PO. Where here we were able to download a lot of that PO or POs in using that search criteria, quickly making that update and pushing it back up into the cloud. So that's one of the use cases that you could use for this. So with that said, let's see what happens when we go to download our PO. So we're going to come here to the download data button. And when we click that, we're going to be asked to sign in. You're going to have to use your credentials, just like you would if you were signing into the application. And for anyone that's using single sign-on, there would be a single sign-on link in that credentials page. This particular environment that I'm using is not set up for single sign-on, so that's why I didn't have a single sign-on check or box to check on. So just so that you know that that option is there as well. So it already held in memory, probably because I saved this Excel spreadsheet. It held the PO number that I want to search for. And so here's that search criteria again. If I wanted to, I could also add a field for search criteria here, just like I did when I was going through the designer. You could use the designer just as easy and then save it, and that additional search criteria would always be there for you. You can also add these fields on the fly if that works for your business, for your use case. So we're going to download this particular uh, sample purchase order that I have. So we'll click here on OK. So the add-in is going to perform the authentication process, just like if you were logging into the application. And as we can see, it downloaded pretty quickly. It downloaded the purchase order header information, the line information, purchase order schedule information, and the purchase order distribution information. One thing that I want to draw your attention to is this status dialog. So if anything were to happen, like an error occurs during download, you would see that in the status dialog box. Currently, we're checked on the purchase order distribution tab, so it's just showing me the status for that particular tab. If we go here to purchase order schedule, we see the status for the schedule tab. If we go here to purchase order header line, we see the status for not only the header and the line, but we also see the dependent layouts to see if anything occurred during download. So everything looks great. We are ready to, I'm going to go ahead and remove that screen for now. I can always bring that screen back by clicking here on this checkbox. The status viewer brings that screen right back for me. Just in case I lose it, I can get it back. So I'm ready to fix my distribution. One thing you would want to know is, make sure you're familiar with what level within these different tabs are the attributes that you want to update. Um, Project information is kept on the distribution tab, so that's why we're here at the distribution. Now this is a vision, like our internal vision instance. So this project number, the project data is for testing purposes only. Um, so I already pre-identified a project that I could use. So I'm going to put my project number in here. And as you could see, the sheet is pre-coded to provide a list of values to select for your project. And you also have a search criteria bar. So if I just wanted to see projects that started with perch or PUR, I could easily put that in, click on the magnifying glass, and we have our information. So we're gonna continue through that. You could see that status bar, it likes to keep coming back. Um, so just be aware of that. So we're gonna fill out our tasks and our expenditure date. Again, this is, let me move that over a little bit. This is a vision instance. So the project that I selected has start and end dates. And if I put January 17th, 2024 in here, when I go to push this back up into Oracle, Oracle's going, and we will see this here shortly, but Oracle's going to flag me and tell me that is not a valid date for this particular project. So I'm actually going to change the project date to something that's within a date that's within. Well, that date certainly isn't within the project start and end. So I've made it September 22nd, 2022, and then we'll go ahead and fill out our expenditure type, our expenditure org, contract number. All right. Okay. And then, man, that status thing is just killing me. Here we am. Over there. And there. So all 5 of my lines will have the same project information. So instead of going through each step of selecting the information from the dropdown, I'm going to copy. I'm just using the standard Windows Control C to copy. I'm going to highlight and I'm going to paste that information in there. So it's pretty quick. Um, we're just going very slow today so that we can show everything that's going on. But we have all of our information set in our 5 lines. And one thing I want to bring to your attention is over here, we can see that this spreadsheet updated to tell, or the change column in the spreadsheet updated to show, hey, there's an update to this line. And that's necessary because when you go to push this data back up into Oracle, the REST service is going to look to see what updates are out there and what updates do I need to be aware of. So you want to make sure you see this update. All right. We're going to go, we didn't make any changes to the schedule, but we certainly could. We could update the request delivery day. So we could see we're already we're already behind. We could come in here and copy that, paste that. We don't have to update the promised delivery date. Maybe that was the first delivery date that the vendor gave us. And now we're trying to measure against what was requested, what was promised. So we can leave that one alone and we'll set this one to the 31st. So again, we can see that the change for the schedule was marked with an update. So now we're pushing updates into the cloud from the schedule tab and the distribution tab. And in order to push those dates or those changes up in there, we need to come back to the header. We need to be on the header because at this point in time is when we're actually going to upload the changes, and assuming everything works correctly, then we're going to submit those changes. So we're going to click on upload changes. It's calling that REST API. It's going, and you can see it's progressing. It'll progress through the different tabs. Again, this is where that status comes into play. And one of the things that The reason why we checked this, the status is on the schedule, we had one or more rows failed to upload, and on the distribution, one or more rows failed to upload. So let's go see what happened. So we see a update failed, and it says, hey, you can't do a change order because you didn't tell me um, that a change order description, you didn't tell me what your change order description was. And that should be the same error over here on the distribution side. Oracle's saying, I need to know the change order description. So those of you that are familiar with doing change orders in the UI know that when you start a change order, you have to give a change order description. So this tool follows the same principles. So we're going to go over here to the header and line, and we're going to give it a change order description. So I can try to push this up. Okay, so one thing you can see, I'm still actively in this cell. So when I tried to upload the changes, it says I'm unable to upload these changes because the cell is in edit mode. So if I click OK here, click out of that cell, I'm no longer in edit mode, I can upload these changes. Except for I'm going to have another update failed. And I'm doing this on purpose so that you can see how this sheet helps you get through and provides you with responses on any kind of errors. So what this says is that the change order initiating party must be populated. And so here's your initiating party field. And I can help you out and tell you that the initiating party is buyer. You will actually see this initiating party in the application UI, and I'll show you where that's at. Although when you're in the application, the system takes care of that for you. But when you're using this add-in for the and with the REST APIs, you have to tell it what the information is. So we've got our change order description, we've got our initiating party, we have updated our requested delivery date, and we have updated our project information. So now we're going to go back through and we're going to upload changes. Excellent. So we're looking here at our status and we see all rows uploaded successfully for the schedule and all rows uploaded successfully for the distribution. We had the only changes we had here on the form or the header is our initiating party and our change order description. We didn't have any changes for the line, so that's why it says table upload was skipped because there were no changes. That's where that change field comes in handy. So let's see, what does this look like when we're over in the application? So we're gonna move that screen out of the way. I'm already in the application, so I'm just gonna click here on the refresh button and we can see there's our change order. If we want to see the change order information, we'll click on that hyperlink. So here's my change order information. Here's that initiating party of buyer. Here's my change order description. If we come down here, we can see on the lines, I have it set to show the project details. Here's our project details that we are getting ready to submit. And then I didn't bring it forward. Let me see on the schedules. Yeah, so here's on the schedule tab, you can see our requested delivery date that was updated. You could certainly do actions, edit, and submit from here at the application if that's what you wanted to do. But what I would really like to show you is how you could submit that change by using the add-in. In order to use the add-in to submit the change, we pushed information up into Oracle. We want load that information. If we try to submit our change now, we're going to get another error message that says you must re-download. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to download the information again. This is just the way this particular form works for you. Everything downloaded correctly. We can confirm that by just reviewing our different tabs if we want to. We can see everything there. Everything downloaded correctly. We are ready to submit our changes. So to invoke one of the actions, the actions are tied to the PO header. So we're going to be actively in the PO header section of the purchase order. We're going to click here on Form Changes. We're going to click on Perform Action. That'll bring up this Perform Action dialog. You can cancel a change order. Well, we haven't submitted a change order yet, so there's nothing to cancel. This submit and submit a change order, they're essentially the same actions. One is meant to submit a new PO for approval, and this one is meant to submit a change order. So we're going to highlight Submitting a Change Order. Click Next. You will be prompted with some questions with some action fields. So here, these are Boolean fields. So these are true false fields. You may have to do a little bit of research on the API to determine if it's a Boolean field or not, but I can assure you these are Boolean fields. So it's expecting a true, false, or a blank. And if you leave a Boolean field blank, they default as false. And so I want the REST API to run validate before submit. I want to know if there's a problem. If I leave this set to false, the Excel add-in is going to look like everything succeeded, but then over in Oracle, I know it's going to fail validation. So I'm going to enter true here, but I'm going to let these two default to false. I don't want to bypass the approvals, and I don't need to default anything for the tax attributes flag. So we're setting this guy to true. We'll click next. So now it's invoking the submit a change order action. We'll let that run for just a second. All right, so we can see that the REST service returned a success. So we'll go ahead and click on finish. Now we have succeeded using the add-in through Excel to update our purchase order lines and submit the change order for approval. So if we go back to our application, we'll click on refresh. Now our change order is pending approval. This particular environment, we have the approval rules set up to auto approve. So we could give this a few minutes and we would see that it would go ahead and auto approve, and we would see our project information down here. Things have been working a little bit slow today. I think my internet connection might be cold like the rest of the country. So here we can see that the change order did go through, but we're not seeing the project details. And that's just, it's a screen refresh. I don't know, I wouldn't call it an issue. I think sometimes it gets held on in cache. So we're just going to requery that, pull up our PO, and now we see our project details are there and our requested delivery date is there. So we have used our API, our add-in through Excel to mass update PO lines, and we submitted it for approval. So we'll jump back over here to the slide and we'll continue on with the presentation. So here are the reference items that I was talking about. So, one of the questions may be, well, what privilege do I need for this? The privilege is buyer, or the role is buyer, I should say. But if you want to dig in and find how the roles and privileges are used for that REST API, here's the link that you would follow. We've already talked about the link for the as-is template for creating a purchase order, creating a change order. I did give you the links for a couple of the other templates that I referenced earlier. And one other thing to note are the attributes that can be updated with the REST service. You know, not every single field can be updated through the REST service. So it's good to know what are the fields that are updated. And this is constantly changing with each release. So it's changed a couple times just in the couple of years that I've been using this template. So this could be helpful information for you. And with that, are there any questions, Mary?
Does not look like there are any questions. You must have done a great job answering all of those during the presentation. So thank you very much, Teresa, and thank you all for attending today's webinar. Please check out our website and follow us on LinkedIn at Alithya Digital Cafe for updates about the rest of our monthly education series, other webinars, events, and more. This concludes today's webinar.